Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell usually has kind of a natural, easy smile at all times. Not in that clip. O'Connell's frustrated for good reason.
Right.
His offense scored 3 points. I mean, think about the swing that we've seen in Minnesota from last year to this year. Last year, O'Connell's first season, offensive guru comes in, the offense explodes. The defense is crap. This year, but for the defense, I don't know how many wins they'd have. They wouldn't have 7. That's for damn sure. The defense has carried that team. You get away with scoring 3 points and winning a game. I said yesterday, this has been like a perfect weekend for the Vikings despite scoring 3 points. There was a cluster of 6-6 teams. They're the only ones in the NFC that won that were 6-6. Everybody else lost. Right. It was a gift for them. They get a win. The rest of them lose. They strengthen their playoff position, and they scored 3 freaking points.
No, it is amazing how it kind of shook out for them this past weekend. Still, of course, very much alive here. And with that defense, and if Justin Jefferson comes back healthy, and, of course, Nick Mullens can run the offense, right? You still look at it and go, damn, Minnesota be a pain in the butt if they get in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to mess with them. Kevin O'Connell game planning with those receivers and that tight end. And Nick Mullens, if he can just, he doesn't need to be Kirk Cousins, but if he can be Kirk Cousins light there a little bit, yeah, they'll be a pain in the butt, certainly. So we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, they can't survive with the kind of offensive output they had last week. That's for certain, and I think that's where, what Kevin O'Connell said. Nick Mullens, why I think we both thought he would start last week against the Raiders. Knows the offense better, been there for a while. I think a better pure passer as well than Josh Dobbs. Not the athlete, but a better pure passer. And I think that's where he'll give this offense a little bit of a boost.
I felt like Kevin O'Connell believed he owed it to Josh Dobbs to give him one more chance.
Yeah, right.
With the understanding that a change will be made if necessary, and he made the change at the perfect time. They got the 3 points they needed to win the game and advance, and now Mullens has the full week to prepare. He knows the offense. Justin Jefferson was limited in practice yesterday. Earlier in the week, O'Connell said he's got a good chance to play. He suffered that chest injury when he got hit hard on Sunday against the Raiders. But Mullens has experience. He's started 17 games in 4 NFL seasons. He's 5-12, but he's started 17 games. This isn't some guy that's just pulling off the turnip truck and saying, go play quarterback. So he's been around. He's been with the Vikings. He knows that system. He knows the personnel. And he gets the chance now. 4th different starter this year at quarterback for the Vikings. Just like the Browns have had 4, the Vikings have had 4. And just like the Browns, the Vikings are playoff contenders. We'll see what happens. The other thing we don't know yet, Chris, who's going to be number 2. Josh Dobbs may plummet all the way to number 3 after getting yanked from the starting job.
Yeah, that was a little surprising. Again, I know that they like Jaron Hall and they drafted him and all of that, but I feel like Dobbs will end up being the backup. Are you really going to go, wait, Nick Mullens, and then just go, oh, he got banged up, and we're going to throw a guy in that hasn't really played at all except for one drive his whole NFL career? That's where I would think Dobbs is the backup of the football game, but who knows? Maybe they're seeing something that we don't know about.
Well, and I think, as you said, when we first saw Dobbs struggle with the 4 interceptions a couple of weeks ago against the Bears, this is why he's been on 7 different teams.
Yeah.
They got every ounce of magic they could out of Josh Dobbs, and it was a great story for a few weeks, and now it's over. It's just over. He's only going to play if 1 or 2 guys get injured, and I doubt that they're going to circle back to him in the natural progression of things. I get the impression they're all in with Nick Mullens. They're going to ride or die with him, and they're going to get to the playoffs with Nick Mullens as the quarterback, or they're not. But the one thing that becomes crystal clear out of all of this, they need Kirk Cousins back in 2024, and it's in Kirk Cousins' best interest.
Wait, hey, hold on. Stop the press. Say that again. Couldn't hear you. Say that one more time. I didn't quite hear you. Did you say they should bring back Kirk Cousins? They need him back? What? Woo!
What's your alternative? What did we see from Kirk Cousins in his last full game before the Achilles tendon popped? We saw him play his best game ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
In the National Football League. And he needs to understand, yes, it's the culmination of everything he's done, but it's also the fact that he's gotten into a sweet spot with Kevin O'Connell, and they need to build on that next year. Now, look, I think at some point they need to pivot toward getting a long-term 10 to 15-year starting quarterback who can be a franchise guy and make them a consistent contender. but there's still some toothpaste at the bottom of this tube with Kirk Cousins that it would be a mistake for him and for the Vikings to not want to squeeze the last bit out and see what happens.
Man, let's clip that out. Clip that out and put that on social media, team. Let's get that. You see that, everybody? You see that, Minnesota? Hey, Kirk Cousins, he got down to the last petal on the flower, and he loves you. It's official. Damn, this is a groundbreaking day. A groundbreaking day. Florio likes the quarterback of the Vikings. His name is Kirk Cousins, and Florio loves him. It's awesome.
Sometimes you appreciate someone when they're gone.
Yep, that's right.
And
look at you.
They better get him back. They better get him back. Because think of how different this past month would have been for the Vikings if he was continuing.
Oh, my gosh, right?
At the level he was playing.
Yeah. No, it's right. I mean, we were saying it when they were losing early in the year. We were both going, I think they're better than last year, even though their record wasn't good. We were watching the games going, they're playing good. There's things that you really like. They just had fumbleitis there for a while. You know, if they don't have that, they would have got off to a really strong start. And I'm with you. You're right, Mike. I mean, if Kirk Cousins was involved in this football team right now, you'd sit there and start going, you know, we know who the top 3 teams are there, but you'd go, whoa, Minnesota is not far off. And are they the 3rd best team in the conference or the 4th best team? I mean, I think they'd be up there in that conversation.
I mean, last year, their defense couldn't shut somebody out for a quarter.
Like nothing. Nothing.
The defense pitched a shutout, and they had to have it. It wasn't just like, oh, it's 24-0, and we just put the clamps on them. They needed to hold the Raiders to 0 in order to win the game, and they did.
Right.
That would have been unthinkable last year. So, you know, that reminds me of some Vikings teams back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was always too skewed one way or the other. Defense was too good, and the offense sucked.
Late 80s, it was all defense. 90s, it was all offense. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.